Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the bamboo beanie. Now you can make it with or without the pom pom, but I think the pom pom adds just a super fun touch to this beanie hat. Now I designed this hat using the bulky number 5 Premier Anti-Peeling Bamboo. And there's a picture of that there at the beginning of the video. And I love this. It's the same yarn that I use to make the hand cozy where you can hold your coffee cup or soda or something and still keep your hand warm. I love this yarn so much. It's soft, it's durable, and it has beautiful colors. Now it is a Premier yarn, and I'll put that link for Premier yarn underneath this video so you can go and look at all the beautiful colors they have in this yarn. I just love it. It's been a lot of fun to work with. I made the hat. I made that cozy for your hand, but I also have a cowl, sort of a cowl scarf, I guess you would say, pattern that I'm working on to go along with this set. And so I think you're really going to enjoy working with this yarn. Again, you don't have to use these colors, and of course you can use any bulky number 5 yarn for this project. I love this particular section, how some of the colors sort of peek out, and it's a nice textured hat. It's very stretchy. It'll fit a youth to adult, a 22 to 24 inch head. And it's a really nice size. It works up fast, and it's just beautiful. The texture on it is just gorgeous. And again, I love this particular section of the hat. Now, as always, I'll put that link down in the notes under the video for the written pattern with lots of pictures, because I wanted you to have a lot of pictures to be able to make this hat. All right, because I think you're going to love making it. It's the perfect hat for the guys, even though I designed it for the guys, for the girls as well, because it is a great pattern. I just fell in love with it as I worked on it and designed it, and I think you're really going to love making it. To make our bamboo beanie, and like I said, it can be for the guys or the girls, make it in whatever colors that you want. All right, so I designed this particular bamboo beanie using the anti-peeling bamboo chunky, and I purchased it for this project. And I also made the cozy, the mug cozy you can put your hand inside. And I also have enough here. I'm going to make a matching sort of scarf cowl. It's not going to be as long as a regular scarf, but it's not going to be as short as a regular cowl, because I want to make one that's going to match our hat style. Okay, so that will be coming soon. Every time I make a beanie, I always get the question, are you going to make a scarf? All right, so I wanted to answer that question. For the beanie, you're going to need about 2.5 ounces of one color, which is this gray. It's called Earl Gray. And then you're going to need about 1 ounce of 2 other colors in order to form this neat section in here. And then, of course, we made the pom-pom using all 3 colors. Now, you can use a pom-pom maker. There's several different kinds, or you can just wrap it around your hand. And that's what I'm going to do today and show you how to do that at the end of the video. So we'll make a pom-pom at the end of the video to add on to our hat. All right, so we're going to stitch today with our K-hook. It's a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. Then you need a needle for weaving in ends and a good sturdy pair of scissors, because we're going to be cutting and trimming that pom-pom off so it's nice and even. Although I kind of like them a little bit floofy. We're going to be starting with the brim, or the bottom edge of the hat, and then working our way up, and then we'll decrease for the top of the hat. All right, so we're going to begin with our main color, whatever color you have chosen. There's my slip knot, and I'm going to chain 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to begin with the foundation double crochet. This is going to give us a nice stretchy edge to the bottom edge of our hat. Yarn over, go in that 4th chain, and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and only go through that first loop. That's our chain that we made. Now we're going to finish our double crochet. Yarn over, go through the next 2, yarn over and go through the next 2. And now we'll go in that chain that we made and repeat what we just did. All right. And so we're going to stitch a total of 50 foundation double crochets. Now remember, when you're counting your stitches, this chain 3 that we skipped over will count as your first stitch. And then you'll stitch 49 more for a total of 50 foundation double crochets. A little tip that helps me keep track of my stitches is to put a stitch marker every 10 foundation double crochets, since we need 50. So here's my chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I marked it with a stitch marker. Now I'll stitch 10 more. So there's 1, and then I'll stitch 9 more to make 10, and then I'll mark it with a stitch marker again. And that will help keep track of your stitches without having to keep recounting them. I stitched 50 foundation double crochets, and I used my stitch markers to mark every 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I'm going to go ahead and take those out. That's just a little trick that I do to help me keep track of my stitches. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 3. Now before we do row 2, you'll notice when you do a row of foundation double crochets, you always have this little gap. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use that tail of yarn, put it on our needle, and we're going to close that gap. I'm going to take my hook out so I can show you. We're going to put those ends together, make sure it's not twisted, and we're just going to stitch those together. And you want to do it securely, go through the stitch and fibers, and I like to go up maybe into the bottom of that stitch just to give me a little something extra to go through. All right. We're going to go on the inside, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just go through that a couple times. Go through fibers, go through stitches. You don't want the end of your hat to come undone. All right. Then we'll just clip that. And now row 1 is complete. All right, let's do row 2. We chained 3. And now what we're going to do is we're going to front post double crochet in the next stitch. I should say around the next stitch, because we're going to go around the post. Now we normally stitch up here, but we're going to go around the post of the double crochet and stitch a double crochet. Now we'll go in the next double crochet and just stitch a regular double crochet. Now we'll go in the next one and stitch a front post double crochet. So what we're doing is we're alternating a regular double crochet and a front post double crochet all the way around. And this also will help the edge of our hat be just a little bit stretchy, because we want this hat to be stretchy and comfortable. And see how that looks? Here's our chain 3, front post, double crochet, front post, regular double crochet, front post, regular double crochet, front post, regular double crochet, and we're going to repeat this all the way around, alternating front post double crochet and a regular double crochet all the way around. I'll give you an angle there where you can see that a little better. So we'll repeat this, alternating front post double crochets and regular double crochets all the way around and then join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 2, alternating front post and a regular double crochet. Our last stitch is a front post double crochet, and we're going to join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to repeat row 2 for 2 more rows. So we'll have our chain 3, our front post double crochet, around the front post double crochet, and then a regular double crochet in the next, and again alternating front post double crochets and regular double crochets. And we're going to do this for 2 more rows. And this is going to form the bottom band of our hat. Alternating front post double crochets and regular double crochets for 2 more rows. I have completed those 2 additional rows of alternating front post double crochets and regular double crochets, and you can see how that band looks really nice, and it's nice and stretchy. All right, now when I joined on my 4th row, I did not chain 3, and that's because we're going to bring in our next color, and I'm using this terracotta, and we're only going to chain 1. Now we're going to leave our color 1 attached because we're going to carry up our colors on the inside of our hat for this color changing section. All right, so we've chained 1. We're going to stitch a single crochet in that chain 3, and then we're going to stitch a single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around. Now it's very important that you add a single crochet or stitch a single crochet in that chain 3, because if you don't and you go right to the next stitch, you're going to lose a stitch in your stitch count, and you want to make sure you have 50 stitches on every row until we start doing our decreased stitches. All right, so for row 5 or round 5, whatever you want to call it, we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around our hat. Then we'll join back to that first single crochet. I have completed round 5, which was just 1 single crochet in each stitch around in our color 2, which is my terracotta. All right, I'm going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch, and I'm going to leave the first 2 colors attached and bring in my 3rd color. This is that blue raspberry. We'll snug everything down and we'll chain 3. All right, now this row I think is super fun. We have our chain 3. We're going to put 2 wraps on our hook and go in that front post double crochet from the previous row and stitch a triple front post stitch. All right, then we'll stitch a double crochet in the next stitch. Then we'll go to the front post double crochet from the row below and stitch a triple front post stitch around it. All right, and then we'll see that terracotta peeking through. So for round or row 6, we're stitching a double crochet in the next single crochet, then a triple front post going down to the row below and stitching a triple front post in that double crochet front post. And it's a really nice effect, and we'll see that terracotta peeking through between. All right, see how that looks? Isn't that cool? All right, so double crochet in the single crochet, and then a triple front post in the double crochet front post from that previous row. All right, let's do one more. Double crochet in the next stitch, triple front post around the double crochet front post from that previous row. And we'll alternate this, working all the way around our hat and join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 6. We alternated our double crochet with our triple front post stitched in the front post double crochet from that previous row. And we have that terracotta color just peeking out, and it makes a really nice effect. We joined to our chain 3, but we didn't chain 1 or 2 or anything because we're going to bring in our color 1. We'll snug that down. Don't cut those yet. And we'll go ahead and chain 1. Before we stitch row 7, I do want to show you the inside. All right, so here's the 2 tails where we started our 2 new colors. We already took off the first color because we had to close that gap. And we're going to be carrying our colors up through this section where we're changing colors often. That way we're not weaving in a lot, and it makes a nice secure hat also. All right, so what we're going to do for round or row 7 is we're going to single crochet in that first stitch, and then we're going to place 1 single crochet, and we're using our Earl Grey color 1, and we're going to stitch a single crochet in each of those stitches, working all the way around. Doesn't matter if it's a triple or a double, we're just stitching 1 single in each of those stitches. And again, we've left our color 2 and color 3 attached because we're going to be bringing them back in. All right? So 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around. I have completed row 7, just 1 single crochet in my Earl Grey or color 1 in each stitch around. And again, you have 50 stitches. All right, so we joined, but we didn't chain 3 or chain 1 because we're going to bring in our next color, which is our color 2. We'll snug this down. Do not cut your yarn yet. All righty, so now what we're going to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to stitch a triple post around that triple post from that previous row. Then you'll stitch a double crochet in the single crochet that comes next. And then we'll stitch a triple around that triple from the previous row. And see how that looks? It's a really neat texture and effect. So we'll double crochet in the next single and triple front post around the triple front post. And repeat, working all the way around. Whoop, my yarn tried to fall away there. Alrighty, so double crochet in the next single crochet and front post triple around the front post triple from that previous row. Really nice effect with those colors peeking through. And it's a nice texture. And it also makes the hat nice and stretchy and comfortable to wear. We'll repeat this all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 8, alternating double crochets and triple front posts, going in that triple front post from the previous row. And we're done with the terracotta, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. just to get that out of the way. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring back in, out of the way there, we're going to bring back in our color 2, which is our blue raspberry. We're going to chain 1, and on this row we're going to do the single crochet, get in there, in each of the stitches all the way around. So again, we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around, and we'll join back to that first single crochet. And I'm really loving the way this is working up. The demo turned out really great, and this one's turning out really great as well. I love the play of all the colors, how they mix and peek through the texture. It's just really pretty. All right, so 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around our hat. I have completed row 9, just 1 single crochet in each stitch around using my color 3, which was my blue raspberry, and we're going to cut off that color because we're done with that for now. And so I have joined to my first single crochet. I'm going to bring back in my color 1, which was the Earl Grey. There we go. And now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to repeat that row where we alternate the double crochet and the triple front post, okay? So we'll go right to that triple front post and stitch a triple front post, because again, our chain 3 always counts as our first double crochet on each row. All right, so now I'm going to double crochet in that next single crochet, and then front post triple around the next front post triple. And we'll do this all the way around like we did on these 2 previous rows. Double crochet, front post triple, alternating. Whoops, 2 wraps. Got to have 2 wraps on your front post, triple. There we go. All right, so we're going to do this all the way around, and this is the last time we're going to do the double crochet and the triple front post. And this section is just super pretty, but for the remainder of the hat we're only going to be using our color 1. All right? All right, so I'm going to keep working this row. It's turning out beautiful, and I love it. We'll repeat it all the way around, and again, join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 10, alternating double crochet and triple front post, and it's fun to see how those colors just peek through. It's a beautiful effect. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. And now what we're going to do for row 11 is we're going to alternate our double crochet, which our chain 3 counts as our first, and a front post double crochet around that front post triple crochet. Alternating double crochet and front post double crochets, just like we did at the beginning of our project down here. No more triple front posts. We're doing just a regular front post double crochet and a regular double crochet, alternating every other stitch. Just like we did down here, all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 11, which is alternating stitches, double crochet and front post double crochet all the way around. join back to our chain 3 and chain 3. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 11 for 7 more rows. All right? So repeat row 11, what we just did, for 7 more rows. I have completed those 7 additional rows, so that brings us up to row 18 or round 18. All right, so what we're going to do now is do some decrease rows. So we've joined our chain 3 and chained 3. Now with the next 2 stitches, we're going to stitch the 2 double crochets together in order to do a double crochet decrease. So we're going to yarn over, we'll go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, then we'll go in the next stitch and pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook instead of 3. So yarn over, go through the first 3, yarn over and go through the next 2. All right, so now we'll go to the next stitch and stitch a double crochet. And now we'll do a double crochet decrease or stitching the next 2 together. And now we'll stitch a double crochet in the next. And this is going to cause us to decrease every other stitches. So we have a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. Then we did a double crochet decrease. Then we stitched 1 double crochet in the next, and we decreased with the next 2 stitches. All right? And we'll repeat this working all the way around, stitching 2 double crochets together or a decrease stitch, and then a double crochet in the next, and alternating that all the way around. And you'll already see how it starts to pull in the top of that hat. All right, so we'll just repeat this, working all the way around this row and join back to our chain 3. I completed that decrease row, alternating a double crochet and then stitching the next 2 double crochets together for a decrease all the way around. We join to our chain 3, and now we're just going to repeat what we just did. So I have my chain 3 and I'm going to stitch the next 2 together. And this is going to bring it in even more. Double crochet in the next, stitch the next 2 stitches together. Again, we'll do this all the way around the top of our beanie hat. And again, you'll notice how it will bring it in even closer together. Because that's exactly what we need to do on the top of our beanie. Double crochet in the next, stitch the next 2 together for a double crochet decrease all the way around. So we're just repeating what we did on the previous row. So I have completed that row, just repeating what we did, double crochet decrease every other stitch, and we're going to tie off, but we're going to leave about a 12 to 16 inch strand of yarn so we can gather up the top of our hat. All right, so I've joined to my chain 3 and I'm going to go ahead and pull my yarn through. And now we're going to turn our hat wrong side out. All right, and here's where I weaved in my ends, where I brought in those new colors. Make sure you do that. There it is. Lost my tail. All right, so all we're going to do now to finish up the top of our hat is thread that onto our needle, and we'll go in and out those stitches, gathering up the top of our hat all the way around. right, so now I'm gathering it closed. And I'm going to go in some of these stitches here. Make sure that's nice and tight, pulling it tight. Okay, so then what I do is I do what I call cross stitch, is I go across those and make sure I stay in those stitches and cross across that way. And then I cross the other way because I want to make sure the top of my hat is not going to come undone. All right, and pull that nice and tight. And then I'm going to do that thing that I do. A lot of people think it's weird, but it's okay. Take the needle off. I pull and make a loop. And then I take these two ends and I tie it nice and securely. 1, 2, and then I'll grab that and do that little twist tie that I do. And push that nice and close to the hat and clip that. And make sure that's going to stay nice and secure. And then we'll just flip this over. And we'll check the top, make sure it's nice and closed. And now we have just a basic beanie hat. And I love it this way, but I think it would look even cuter with a pom-pom that had all our colors in it. So you can leave your hat this way, but I'm going to show you how to make a pom-pom for your hat. So first I'm just going to cut one piece that's going to hold all of our strands together. All right, so I'm going to take my blue raspberry and I'm going to wrap it around my 4 fingers. And I'm going to spread them a little bit so that my fingers get a nice, and I'm not even counting, I'm just using up some yarn that I have, okay? Now I'm going to grab my terracotta and wrap around also as I spread my fingers. There we go. Because I want both colors in there. And I want a nice size pom-pom. All right. Now I'm going to grab my gray and do the same thing. And just wrap it around my hand. You can use a pom-pom maker. You can use a cardboard that you use to make a template. There are lots of different styles of pom-pom makers. All right, so I've got quite a bit on there, so I'm going to cut that. All right, and I don't know how many I put on there. You can count. I just put it on there enough where I think it's thick enough. And to me, this is the easiest way I have ever made a pom-pom. All right, so I'm going to take this and lay it across there. And I'm going to grab my 2 strings. I should say my 1 string, and tie it super duper tight. And this is the most important part of the pom-pom, is keeping that tight. And I'm going to tie another string, or another knot, not another string. There we go. So now I have all the floofies. That's my own terminology. I'm going to use my little bucket here. I'm just going to clip them. Making sure I try to clip all the loops. And again, if you want to use a pom-pom maker, this part, of course, is super easy on a pom-pom maker. And I have several styles. I just still keep going back to the old way I've done it since I was a kid, and just use my fingers as the wrap and make the pom-pom. And the key to getting a nice pom-pom really is your scissors. If you're not using a pair of scissors that clips good, you're going to struggle getting your pom-pom even. All right, so there's my pom-pom, but of course it needs to be trimmed. All right, so I'm going to take my hand and sort of pull it forward, squinch it up, and just start trimming. I always try to trim the edges a little bit shorter, not much, just a little. All right, now I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to shake it. Okay, it looks pretty good. I love how it all laid out, but I still have some edges here. And so I'll lay it kind of flat. Be careful not to trim this, because that's how we're going to attach it to our hat. All right, and so then I'll just go around those edges. And the thing is, I don't care if it's not perfect. I want it to be, you know, as perfect as I can get it. But I also want it to have a homemade look to it, where it looks like someone took some time and effort to make that pom-pom and that hat or whatever that I'm making. Okay, now I'm going to shake it again. See if there's anything sticking out. What you can see, there's a couple. There's a couple there sticking out. You know, just kind of... All right. Oh, there's one. Just have some fun with it. That's the thing about crafting, is you need to have fun. All right, so here's my pom-pom for my hat. And what we'll do is we'll just grab our crochet hook. We'll go up inside. And I like to go where the center is gathered. I like to go on either side of that. So I'll pull that in. And then I'll go on the other side and pull the other string in. All right, so now we're going to go up inside here. We're going to pull that nice and secure. Now, there are other types of pom-poms that you can buy where you can add a button and make sure you can take it off when you wash it. But this particular yarn that I'm using will make it a little easier to wash your pom-pom along with your hat. So what I recommend is, if the hat gets dirty, you're out in the rain and it gets mud on it or something because you're watching your kiddo's game or something, you can wash it on gentle and then set it on your dryer to dry. All right, and so now we have a hat with a fun pom-pom. And that one turned out really great. I love these three colors together. When I saw them, I just had to have them. And I was actually looking for a beige, a blue, and an orange. And I ended up getting a blue raspberry, terracotta, and Earl Grey. So I absolutely love these colors. There we go. That's our bamboo beanie hat, designed for the guys, but the girls will love it too, 'cause I do.